Welcome. This is the Something Ventured podcast. I am Kent Lindstrom. I'm your host. My guest today is Rachel Fairbanks. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are, by the way, you're the first woman on the show. Is that like a...
Shocking.
Is that like a... What are you shocking?
No, it's actually not very shocking.
Well, I've talked to like 3 guys, so I'm not like...
Well, you work in a very guy-centered...
That's true. I'm only going to pay you like 70%. What's the number?
Well, hold on, Jill Abramson. Hold on. I'm having a New York Times moment here.
Thank you very much. Gender Discrimination Theater has been brought to you today by...
This one is going to be testy.
So in this podcast, so eventually this will be professional, but in this podcast, I've got this whole thing that got written, which is I take a look at the reality behind the Silicon Valley headlines as I sit down with the seasoned veterans and the up-and-comers who are shaping the way we view the world online and beyond. What do you think of that?
Well, I like it. So am I a seasoned veteran or am I an up-and-comer?
You can do whatever you want. You can pick whatever of those two things. Seasoned veteran sounds like a sea captain kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm kind of surly, which actually kind of works.
I don't think women are generally seasoned veteran. Yeah, you don't. I don't think you don't say seasoned veteran.
I don't know. I've been around the block a few times. So.
No one should say podcast.
Not how
either.
you mean. Jeez,
I didn't say anything. So, Rach, I just have trouble describing people's backgrounds, but you are a woman who is an executive in technology.
Yes.
You work at a
software company.
A software company.
Yes.
Which is pretty exciting.
It is.
So
it's a thrill a minute.
Looking forward to getting your perspective on that. And before that, you were a teacher. Before that, you went to San Diego State.
Yes.
Whoa, I grew up in San Diego.
Whoa, small world.
That's good radio, right?
Oh, my God. Of all the places.
Yeah. So in this podcast, we were talking, I think we're going to talk about whatever the hell we want, because
exactly.
we can. But we're going to make fun of hipsters. Like, I had to do it. I've done the Crystal Knocked episode. Yeah, Jews in Nazi Germany. So we got that out of the way. It was one on, being African-American in Silicon Valley. Sexism one. We can talk about sexism.
This one's going to be much less serious.
But at some point, and none of those were that. Well, the Crystal Knocked,
yeah.
You can't do much with, Nazi Germany that's,
Making fun of hipsters is, it's par for the course.
It's easy. So how did you get to how did you end up in Silicon Valley as an executive?
Well, that is
a thing. But you were a teacher, right?
It's a roundabout question, but yes, absolutely, I got there in a roundabout way. I was a teacher, and then I got laid off from my job for the 4th time, which happens in education.
What?
Yes.
Too many teachers in the world?
They don't have enough money in that industry.
Right.
So I decided to hightail it to Asia for a couple of years and sit on the beach for a little while and ponder my life.
Yeah.
And then I moved on. And then I realized I don't like children in groups.
Technology is perfect for you.
Well, I work from home now, so I don't have to deal with anyone in groups.
Yeah. So what part of Asia were you in?
So I lived in Thailand for a year, and that basically entailed me sitting on the beach for a year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Which is something that you really can do if you put your mind to it.
Yeah. All right. So I'll describe Rachel briefly, just so this makes sense, but you're like a blonde woman who's well-dressed. That'll be important when we get to the hipsters. Jesus Christ, the hipsters.
Oh. Yes.
So,
I would say my style is not San Francisco-esque.
Yeah, you're an attractive, well-dressed person.
Thank you.
This is radio, so that sets up a couple things.
Thank you.
What the heck is a tall blonde woman in Thailand? Is everyone yeah, that's cool. She's kind of like us.
Right. Well, people are very confused. They think I know a lot less than I actually do know.
Oh, because of the hair?
Because I look like I'm a bimbo.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Which is fine. They can believe that.
What? I do that with I do that with British accents.
Do you think they're much more intelligent than they actually are?
And I do the opposite with the Southern thing, too.
Absolutely.
I'm oh, you got a Southern accent. I think you're a hayseed.
Absolutely.
Totally ridiculous.
We just had a conversation with somebody who had moved here from Alabama, and he had worked very hard at getting rid of his accent because it wasn't good in business.
Yeah, he's totally right. I tell you, I was listening to, we're going to talk about women in tech a little bit, but I was sitting next to some women. Let me sure I say this right. This is a funny thing. When you're talking about stuff, so I've done I don't know what I'm flirting with here, African-American stuff, sexism and stuff. But I was sitting next to a group of, professional women. And a couple of them were talking, little baby doll voices. Mm-hmm. Which is not, if that was a speech defect, that is not a speech defect.
Absolutely.
I'm like, that's just free money, man. Just like get that trained out of you, and you're going to get paid like 1,000% more. So it's like the Southern accent.
Sometimes they foster that, though.
Who
They foster it because it works.
Like for what?
Not necessarily in business, but with men, absolutely.
The baby doll voice.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Not for me.
You are the exception.
Thank you. Really?
Oh, absolutely. They. A lot of people play dumb.
It's just crazy.
Whereas I'm trying not to play.
Go the other. So, okay, blonde woman in like Thailand? Like, what is it?
So that was not even the weirdest part. So Thailand is fine because I was on an island full of, there was 3,000 people there and 2,000 of us were expats.
Yeah.
So I was in good company, but I lived in South Korea for a year where I was probably the only blonde for about a 5-mile radius.
Holy crap.
I would be on the subway and they would pull my hair.
What? Who? Just them? Like
anybody.
Really?
It was usually the little old ladies.
Oh, really?
And they would pull my hair and then they'd run away.
Really?
And they'd giggle.
Holy
and they'd run away.
crap.
And I kept going, turn on a TV. CSI. It plays all the time here. There's blondes everywhere.
Yeah. They're just like, wow, we didn't know that was a thing. We thought it's like seeing like something out of Star Wars or something. Like,
talk about fish out of water, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
South Korea is not a place for a blonde girl like me.
That's crazy. All right, well, now see, you've learned something on this podcast. I like trying to learn something every time. So it's funny, I was writing down, like, so I was preparing for this, I was writing stuff down. I was like, make fun of hipsters, make fun of NPR, make fun of vegetarians.
I really don't want to just make fun of things.
No, we don't make fun of anything. I think I'm running like a little Saturday Night Live.
I know. I know. I feel like my whole thing was like, don't complain. Just don't complain.
Yeah. Well, making fun of hipsters is so easy. We'll do like a disclaimer before we do that. Like, hey, they're people too. They're sons and daughters of like other people.
They are. They're not any more interesting or less interesting than us.
Oh, they're less interesting for sure. For sure. But
especially on a sunny day.
By the way, speaking of Saturday Night Live, I watched it this week. I found the show not funny. Bill Hader was on the show this week.
So the show has basically become a place for cameos.
Yeah.
They can't really do anything. I feel bad for the cast because I think that a lot of those people are not coming back next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So it's a place for cameos. What was Paul Rudd all about? Where did he come from? Why was he there?
I don't get it.
I mean, of all the people in the world that should have been there, Justin Timberlake, of course, because he does the dick in a box thing with Andy Samberg. But
fabulous.
He wasn't there because he's on tour. But of course, they showed a picture of him. It's not good. It's just not good. They don't have the content, so they have to give us a bunch of stuff we don't want.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then so Bill Hader came on, and him standing on stage for like a minute was like the funniest thing. I was like, this is great. He's not even say anything. Like, this is like fabulous. That guy's here.
But we wanted Stefan so badly.
Oh my God. You know, Bill Hader's got a show on HBO, by the way.
He does?
Yeah, it's in development.
Oh, okay.
Like, by the way, it doesn't take much to be an executive at HBO and go, yeah, I'll just hire Bill Hader to do what the fuck ever he wants to do. Like, that's going to be great. Like, I'm going to watch that. Like,
that's what I would do.
Pay him $1 million. Yeah, and then there was a band, St. Vincent.
Okay, so St. Vincent.
Am I being fucking punked?
Here's how. Okay, so I've seen St. Vincent a few times now, and one of the times you're going to love this. I saw her play with David Byrne.
Yeah,
at the Orpheum. She's gotten too artsy. I don't get it anymore.
So I tried my TV. I'm like, there's fucking wise craft work on my TV. If you've ever seen it, they walk around like robots.
Yes, and she's less about the music and more about the performance art now.
But it's just robotic shit. Like, that wasn't cool like the first time around.
I'm not a fan any longer.
And then, so it's funny, I was watching, but first of all, this is, what the fuck is going on? And then there's two women, there's like another one in the band, and she does the robot shit too.
Yeah.
But the look on her face is like, she thinks it's like just really stupid.
Yeah.
But she's got to do it because the other one like owns the keyboard or what, something. Like, oh my God.
I was such a fan of her when she was kind of a hippie chick who would play in Dumbo in New York. And she was just kind of like a girl with a guitar, and it was beautiful. Yeah. And now she's like, I'm synth lady.
Yeah. I get performance art. Like, I'm an educated person. Walking around like a robot.
But I don't. See, the problem is I think she's devolved as opposed to evolved. I think her style has kind of gone downhill.
Yeah, I don't get.
She's a little too much now.
Yeah, I'll go see Laurie Anderson. I don't know what the hell's up with that. Like, it's super freaking weird.
I saw Susie Sue not that long ago.
Who the hell's Susie Sue?
Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
I didn't mean to see it, but I was at a place where she was playing, and it was really weird.
There's a, I guess I'm going to do a music podcast. So there's a Pixies, there's a Pixies song on TV now in the Apple ad.
Yes.
Gigantic, right?
Yes. And everybody's redoing it. Yes. Because the Pixies are
fucking great.
So this is what I was thinking about earlier is I think that there's not a lot of bands that have longevity any longer.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like 1-hit, 2-hit, 3-hit wonders, and then they're going to go by the wayside. And
right.
I feel like the Pixies, that style of music is sticking around. People who like that style of music, I respect them very much because I feel like a lot of the new stuff is a flash in the pan.
Yeah. Well, you know, the great, my favorite Pixies quote is, you know, the Kurt Cobain, when he made Nevermind, they asked him how he made Nevermind, and his answer was, I was just trying to make a Pixies album, basically. But I went and saw them play. And, you know, the two guys don't get along, right? Yeah. So the way the stage is set up is it's the guy and the girl. I forget what their names are.
The Deal Sisters.
What? No. On
in the Pixies?
Yeah. It's the guy and the woman.
Oh, so it's Charles.
Yeah.
So Frank Black.
Yeah, him, Frank Black, and then the woman.
Yes.
And then the way they had it set up is they were on opposite sides of the stage, and the drummer was like thrust forward. So the drummer was like at the front of the stage.
Yeah.
And you could tell they just fucking hated each other, but fabulous.
So there's a really great documentary that was done about the Pixies, and it was right when the Deal Sisters were first back together and not hating each other any longer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called Live Fast, Live Loud, I believe. And it's a great music documentary, but there's so much tension between them the entire time.
Right.
And poor Frank Black, bless his heart. I mean, he is just, he's a workhorse, but I'm not sure how much longer that guy's going to be around.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Anyway, I heard the song on TV. I'm like, I didn't know that song. It's like a pretty good song for TV. I'm like, oh, I know why that's a good song. It's like written by a good band that I like. So
it's kind of like Sonic Youth back in the day.
Oh, yeah, right.
Not now.
No, totally not now.
Oh, we're going to catch so much flack for that one, though.
For Sonic Youth?
Yeah. You can't dog Sonic Youth.
We'll be fine.
I love the quote that they asked Thurston Moore's daughter when they were making a Noise album what she thought of the Noise album. She said the only people that like Noise albums are the people who play Noise albums. Like the people in the bands. Like nobody else likes Noise.
Yeah. Well, there's that one famous, like the My Bloody Valentine show.
Oh, God.
You know, the one show where like everyone's eardrums are bleeding and that kind of stuff. That'd be cool to go to, just like, I was at that show.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about, so part of this podcast is to, clearly talk about culture, but to talk about what goes on here in the capital city of Silicon Valley. And you were telling me some cool stuff. So the kind of money and the people coming into Silicon Valley has kind of sent us on a journey toward being vaguely like New York. Or we have new cool stuff coming in. So you're telling me about like you're telling me a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I can't even keep up with like the crazy shit that's going on here in the Mission. So there's like a speakeasy, there's a hookup truck, there's a dating ring. Like I don't know what any of this crap is. Right. So what's going on?
So here's the cool thing that is happening that I feel like it's not very well advertised in San Francisco, but we went to this amazing speakeasy. It was very much like Sleep No More, which was the big New York show that was very interactive.
Yeah.
And so speakeasy was...
Wait, what was the New York show?
Sleep No More.
And this is the show where like you went...
You went and you interacted with all of the performers.
And you didn't know what they were like, if you should or should. Like there'd be a closet, you could just walk up and open the door.
Well, it's very similar to like the old dinner theater kind of thing, you know, where you're kind of like a part of everything. So it's kind of like old school meets new school.
Yeah.
So we got these instructions. I mean, of course, it was, you know, exorbitantly expensive to buy a ticket to this. And we got these instructions that were... go to the Asian Art Museum and find a guy with a yellow book and ask him, how does the story end?
Yeah.
And then we had to dress in flapper girl attire. The men had to dress like, 20s gangsters. Yeah. And we had to walk through the Tenderloin in these outfits and find this really cool watch shop. Yeah. And we spent about 4 hours just interacting with these performers. It was a pretty amazing situation. Very un-San Francisco.
Yeah, that is super. Yeah, because I generally find San Francisco theater to just, I mean, you know, there's exceptions, but man, There's some bad theater.
Well,
like there's people working out a lot of issues for themselves with the theater. That's great, but like I don't want to see it. Like I want to see a professional do a professional show that I've heard of.
And I think some of the interactive stuff is a little bit more along the lines of less classy and more Burning Man style.
Oy vey, yeah.
Which to me, or like hookup parties, you know, like I feel like I've been to some of those where it's like, this is clearly a sexually based party, and you know that's
a weird. Did you go to Burning Man?
Hell no! It's my birthday week, and it's the best week in San Francisco.
Awesome? Parking ever. So if you don't live in San Francisco, Burning Man is who the fuck knows? It's a thing in the desert where people do drugs and have sex. Like they try to pretend it's art, roughly speaking. But that week in San Francisco, like it's empty.
It's a dream. Yeah. It is an absolute dream.
Yeah, everyone's on the playa. Oh, thank God.
And then when you see that first car come back with the dust covered, you get really sad.
Yeah.
Winter. You're like, why isn't Burning Man every week?
Winter is coming.
Such a bummer.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
But it's my happy birthday, so
that's fucking fantastic.
Which is fantastic because I never have to tell bars that I'm going to need their entire space for my party because they will give me all of their space.
Yeah, good art in San Francisco. There's a couple people I'm going to talk to about art in San Francisco. I mean, I think that there is good art in San Francisco, but there's also like.
There is good art. But I feel like I get really frustrated because I'm very much into film, and I feel like New York and LA get so much, and we are sort of like third on the list. As opposed, you know, like I feel like we could be a first-run city, but we're.
Well, I think it's that we think we are.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and the rest of the world's like. New York, Chicago, LA, San Diego, Houston. San Francisco.
But I think as an area, as a region, we should be. You know, if we were just to stop thinking about just San Francisco itself and thinking about the entire region, we have the Napa Valley. We have, San Jose. We should be first.
Yeah.
First on the list.
We're definitely not. Oh my God. Like I read the New York Times and it's just like insane. Like the stuff that's going on in New York, Southern California, right? Hedwig is coming up in New York, right? With what's his face?
That's for me right now. That's why I want to go to New York.
What's his face?
Oh, Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on the cover of Rolling Stone right now, which is a whole nother situation that I would love to talk about, magazines. Yeah. But he's on the cover of Rolling Stone basically naked with a top hat on his...
Yeah. I read that. So I get Rolling Stone for life. There was a thing one time, a while ago.
It's going to be 5 pages long in a moment.
Yeah, so it used to be big. Mm-hmm. Like now it's little. And so one day they were like, hey, they had a little card, those little fucking cards of file. It said, $99, we'll get you Rolling Stone for life. So I was like, I'll pay you $99 to get Rolling Stone. So I get it for life.
There's 70 pages in Rolling Stone now.
I know, they're getting 70.
And there's like 4 ads.
I know, it's so sad.
It is, but it's kind of great because... I just want the articles anyways. I don't need all those ads. Yeah. But at the same point, I'm like, how are you going to sustain yourself?
Yeah, so I read Neil Patrick Harris says he did it. The reason he did the photo is he's lost like 30 pounds or whatever.
He looks great.
Yeah, it looks great.
Well, the whole situation that he was talking about, he was actually, they talked to him about taking over David Letterman's job. And he was absolutely not interested.
Yeah, but he would have been good.
He would have been good, but he would have been so limited.
Yeah.
And I even think like Colbert, he'll be limited as well.
That's why I say Tina Fey didn't do it. It's a hard job. Like you got to kind of be there every day and have a staff, and you can't go off and do movies and.
You have to act like you care about who you're talking to.
Come on, we all do that all day long.
I'm in sales. Hey, I know how to do that.
Exactly. All right, so cool shit in San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Speakeasy, that's over.
Speakeasy is over. You missed it.
Cool. Sorry
Everybody
about that.
missed it. It was really hard to get tickets to it. I had to go on a Thursday.
So what the hell is so hookup truck, what is that?
Okay.
Is it cool or precious? Like everything is either cool or like that speakeasy thing could have been.
Okay.
So in technology, every company that started now is either a lunch delivery application or a chat app. So I think everything that happens in San Francisco is either cool or precious. So it sounds like that was cool.
Okay. So the hookup truck.
Cool or precious?
I'm going to say neither. Huh. Because.
It's not a choice, but all right.
So I know.
Throwing me off my game now.
Sorry. This is what I do. So the hookup truck was designed by somebody who is a burner.
Oh,
Shocking.
Geez, really?
So I posted something about how I want to stand out. I want to find this truck and I want to stand outside and clap wildly when the couple comes out.
Wait, so what goes? What is the hookup truck?
Okay,
I mean, I can kind of figure it out.
So it's designed it was basically designed as an art installation.
Oh boy,
not surprising. But at the same point, they're trying to promote safe sex. You know, a safe place to hook up, whatever it is.
Okay, and that's a truck.
And it's a truck.
Really?
It's in the back of a truck.
The back of a truck.
So what I heard, that's
like, by the way, there's been a country and western song or two about hooking up in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Is it a country and western truck?
It very well could be. I'm sure it's going to Burning Man this year.
Thank God.
But I heard about it first from my mom, of all people. And she told me that she saw it on the news and she told me that they were charging money to go in here, which I was kind of like...
I know what that is. That's the whole thing.
But they're not charging money. That was a lie. Somebody that got on the news somehow, they're not charging money. They can't charge money.
Yeah. Because prostitution's...
Because it's not a hotel.
Right. It's a truck.
I'm like, if you're... and I heard it was $150. That's how much my mom said. It was $150 for like a half hour or 45 minutes or whatever. Yeah. Which to me seems insane.
Right.
How much do you really need to hook up? There's a public bathroom that would probably suffice.
Right. And what do they charge of the public bathrooms? I haven't. It's been a while.
Well, lately, I mean, if you're in the Castro, it's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so hook up. So what happens?
So I don't even think it's a thing anymore. Okay. I think it's a flash in the pan, and I think it was an idea. They got a little bit of their 15 minutes of fame, which wasn't even anything. The girl who started it was she was not very verbose. She was terrible at selling herself. Yeah. And they were interviewing her, and so, anyways, I think it's a flash in the pan. It's gone.
Okay, hookup truck over.
Hookup truck over. Now the dating ring.
What the hell is a dating ring? So by the way, these all sound like prostitution to me.
They really kind of are. So the dating ring is actually not a San Francisco-based company. They're a New York-based company.
Oh, shit.
And they're a bunch of 25-year-old little girls who have decided that they're going to start...
women.
Yeah. They've decided that the way that people should do online dating is that you should pay to go on group dates.
Oh, my fucking God.
So, exactly. So they...
Holy shit. They stole this from Happy Days.
They stole this from... life,
the 50s.
Wow. This is how life works: is you go out and meet people. So, anyways, they threw a party. It was terrible. Yeah, it was at some horrible bar in Soma, and then they decided they were going to try this big deal where they were going to fly girls out from New York.
Because we don't have girls here.
Because apparently there's more single men in San Francisco than there are in New York. And it's a numbers thing.
I don't even know if I just think that's... Okay, so she's not a math person.
And it might well be true, but we have a heck of a lot of single gay guys that will stay single for a long time. Yeah, but they might show up on that little scale.
Yeah, they're not going to date you.
Right? They're never going to date me. So I actually emailed one of the girls and I said, hey, I was interested in your service and I like the whole idea of going out in a group, but I think you're really alienating an entire city's full of single women. Yeah. And she said, no, it's just a numbers game. And I said, well,
such a romantic.
Basically what you're saying to all the single women in San Francisco / Silicon Valley is, why are you single? There are so many men here.
Oh, right. Blaming the victim.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with you? We have to fly women out to come take your men.
That is true.
And she was trying to spin it. They got their 15 minutes, whatever. Yeah. They're supposedly having a party this weekend in San Francisco where they fly a bunch of girls out, but I don't think their Kickstarter worked.
Yeah. Oh, it was a Kickstarter?
It was.
Yeah, I don't think we need to be flying people around. Like, there's plenty of people here.
Please don't send a bunch. It was terrible. It was a horrible idea. The party itself was horrible. They just really they're not thinking very clearly and very much in the forefront. They're not thinking well ahead.
All right, so this is the hipster segue, I think. Let's do the hipster thing and get out of here. We can talk about sexism some other time. It's heavy.
Sexism is...
It might not even exist in Silicon Valley. I don't know.
It does.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Tune in next time. So people in New York hipsters. So the San Francisco, sort of since the tech boom, has sort of become inundated with hipsters. And so this is not a San Francisco thing. This is San Francisco, New York, Portland.
Seattle.
Seattle, maybe coming in Oakland. Holy crap. And so
Omaha, Nebraska's got it too.
Oh my God.
They have problems.
So this is like what? People in their 20s or 30s. Right?
Now it's stretching into the 40s.
Holy fuck, that's the worst.
It's because we're
an aging hipster.
An aging hipster.
And
I love it.
I don't know why they know. Like they kind of annoy me. They kind of more and more.
It's more like it's almost like I'm on safari, and like when I come to the mission, it's like I'm seeing them in their natural habitat. You know,
for fuck's sake, yeah.
I used to love. There was a place that is gone now, called Tikuz.
Yeah, that place is great.
It was great. So I used to sit on the sidewalk, and we would on really sunny days, and we would watch the hipsters go by.
Yeah,
and it was only on really sunny days that I would go there, and it was always black jeans.
Oh my fucking
cable knit sweater.
Oh,
really, really. It just looked painful.
I long for the days of those hipsters. The new hipsters don't wear. They wear their sisters' jeans.
Yeah.
Skinny jeans that are orange.
Yes.
If you're an adult male.
Yeah.
If you're an adult, well, if you're an adult woman's fine. If you're an adult male, you should not be wearing orange jeans.
So, on this note, I had a confrontation with a hipster.
Holy shit.
I didn't have any words with him, but he had words with me.
Oh, no.
I was walking on 16th Street in the Mission, which we well know is a very hipster part of San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday or Friday afternoon, and I was dressed for work.
Yeah.
So I was
So you
dressed
dressed
up.
like a professional person.
I dressed like a professional
adult, right?
Exactly.
Now, let's clarify. When you say dressed, were you wearing a fairy princess costume?
Oh my gosh. Like what I'm wearing right now,
Yeah,
Kent?
yeah, exactly. Seriously. Well,
So I was wearing,
professional
get
business
this,
attire.
black pants,
Yeah.
a black blazer,
Yeah.
and a top that was
Yeah.
probably a button down. I don't even know.
Super appropriate for business.
For business. So I was walking from my client back towards the BART station, and a hipster out in front of a bar looked at me and said, "The marina is the other way."
Oh, fuck. What a douche.
And I looked at him, and I basically didn't want to engage him.
Yeah.
I love engaging in flame wars, but
By
I
the way,
didn't feel
they're
like
all
it.
pussies. You can kill any
Exactly.
of them. Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta go. But my whole thing was, is ugly a badge of honor?
Yeah.
Here in the Mission?
Yeah. Oh, dressing like shit apparently is.
Like, do I make you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I do. I make you uncomfortable. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. Yeah. So I don't get it. Like, so back in the dress code, people just dress like fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like crap. So back in the 80s, the guys were douchebags and stuff, but they were like investment bankers and they were in yellow ties and suits. Like, they looked like something, right? The suit was $1,000. They were working out. Okay, the hair was a little slicked back, but now it's like you just look like you don't care.
Well,
do you just not care, or like what?
And that's the problem. Typically, the people that are experiencing the 80s, again, are the people that didn't experience the 80s the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all know what a shit show that thing was.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, these guys suck. Like, I don't know why. Like, these guys suck at irony, right? Like, they wear these like little ironic, like old-timey mustaches. Like, first of all, if you're wearing a mustache,
Yeah.
you better be like Tom Selleck. And here's the deal. Tom Selleck, guy's a man. He's Tom Selleck.
Right.
You're a fucking child with a mustache. It's ridiculous. With an old time, like what is it? Like old timey 70s? Like what is it?
I love that. I love walking on Valencia and just going from one window to the next, and each window is trying to out hipster the other window.
Yeah.
Like I have an accordion and a mustache.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I have tiny little boots. And I have, a cute little basket for your bicycle. And then
my
you go to
God.
the next store and it's like, we have one-upped you by putting a waffle maker and a...
Oh my fucking God. It's so, like, and then like, so being an educated man, irony is when sort of what you expect and what actually happens diverge.
Yes.
I want to
But look at what we expect now.
Yeah. So, okay, you're wearing an old timey mustache. You look like a jackass. But I expect you to be a jackass. So that's actually not ironic. You just look like a jackass. Right? Like
It's kind of come full circle now.
it's a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, the old timey, like where did it, like it's just a hodgepodge of shit, and it's generally like
the people that can wear here's the people that can wear the old-timey mustache and get away with it. The guys who work at the bars that are the old-timey speakeasy type bars.
Okay, yeah.
So those guys are okay. You know, they have to wear the suspenders and they have to wear the high-waisted pants, and those bars are annoying, and they're tourist traps
I get it. You work at Disneyland, you got to wear the fucking, princess costume because you work at Disneyland, you need to make money to pay for school.
Exactly.
To go get a real job so you don't have to wear the fucking costume at Disneyland.
Which is Disneyland San Francisco is Bourbon and Branch.
Yeah.
That's
true.
It's not even a place that normal people go anymore. It's the tourists from Walnut Creek have heard about this place, and you have to have a special code to get in, and it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And everybody who works there pretends they hate you. And
yeah, exactly. It's like catnip for everyone. So it seems to me there's just shit that adult people shouldn't do. Scooters is an example.
We're not in Italy.
No, not. I wish. Not even those scooters. The toy fucking scooters that grown men kick down the goddamn streets around here.
So I have decided that no matter what a guy looks like or what his job is or what he does, I can't date a guy who is on a Razor scooter.
No shit. Like a grown adult, which I've got to get like a 25-year-old hipster on. I was like asking you before, like if you're a 25-year-old woman, and that's a woman, by the way. That's not a child. That's a woman. And your boyfriend's like got his old-timey mustache, his sister's jeans. He's kicking his little toy scooter down. Are you psyched? Are you like, yay?
There's my baby.
Old-timey boyfriend. Like, what? Like, what's the fucking... How do you feel if you're a woman?
They're
Are
so
you psyched
blind,
about
though.
it?
They're all trapped in that vortex.
Oh, my fucking God.
They're all in there. They're all playing their Victrolas, and
so ridiculous. Think about it, like back in the 50s, you're like your boyfriend's wearing a t-shirt and jeans, looking like James Dean or something like that. You're like, this is cool, like this is going on. And now you're like, yeah, he's got a little accordion.
He wears jorts.
Are you psyched? I don't know. I got to talk to him. Like
he's got a bunch of keys hanging from his belt loop.
Yeah. So here's another. So in San Francisco, every time the weather turns warm, there's a holiday. It's Beta Breakers, which is a foot race. Everyone like dresses up in costumes. Like these are adults.
Okay. So I live right on the route.
Oh my fucking God.
And so
brutal.
This year, luckily, it started late. So I got up at 8:00 and all I wanted to do was watch the Kenyans. I just want to watch the Kenyans run. Those people are like gazelles.
Fantastic. Yeah,
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
So I got up, went outside. Pulled my lawn chair down, got my cup of coffee and my newspaper.
Nice.
was the old lady.
Yeah.
And I finally, 8:30, the Kenyans come running by. And then it's basically like, oh, congratulations, you're a banana?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, where did you get that costume?
Where did you get the fucking time?
Right.
Like what you could have volunteered or done any one of a million things, and you spent it making a costume?
So my personal favorite thing is the naked people who are with people who are wearing clothes. Like how uncomfortable is that?
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to get together and we're going to do Beta Breakers and you're the naked guy with us?
Yeah, right. Well, I thought we were all... It's like that. I started live with Will Ferrell where he shows up at work and he's being patriotic and he's like just wearing his like underwear. And it's like, I thought we were all going to be naked. Like, oh no, man, we were just like punking you. Like we're going to wear clothes.
Well, and it's always like the older people I get, fine. Old people like to be naked, but the young people, like the young girls, I'm like...
Dude,
did you lose a bet?
Yeah, you're getting tricked, man, to taking your clothes off.
Yeah, you look uncomfortable right now. Do you want a shirt?
Yeah, it's like, you know how sharing is like a trick that you use to get other kids to give them half your stuff? Like, you got tricked into being naked. Like, you just... Like,
and you're walking with a banana and a shark.
Yeah. So, I mean, the amount of times that people are just fucking dressed up. If you're an adult, you should not be wearing a costume. You should not be wearing a fairy princess costume, man or woman, ever. You should dress up once a year on Halloween as a sexy witch.
Oh, Kent.
And if that...
You're such a man.
And by the way, the way you dress up as a sexy witch, you put a little black dress and you put a little hat, you go, I'm a witch. And you don't like show up like I spent 4 fucking days sewing my costume.
San Francisco is a difficult place for somebody like you. And for me as well.
Old man.
I do not appreciate, I'm not one of those, dress-in theme. The last party I went to, I had to dress like a person from a Coppola movie. And it was very difficult for me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a party that like I got invited to that I couldn't go to. Like it was right around the corner and it was late. It was like... Everybody has to dress up as some fucking... I don't even know what it was. I was like, Okay, so now I can't go because the whole party is going to be people like, "What did you do, costume?" You're like, "Fuck, it's got a fucking job, and I'm an adult."
I can't imagine how big these people's apartments are to be able to hold on to the number of costumes that they have.
Yeah, it's insane.
Ready.
If you're like a 6-year-old girl and you dress up as a fairy princess, that seems fair to me.
On a regular basis, it's totally fair.
Totally right. Totally makes sense. You're a 25-year-old woman. It's maybe time to put away a couple of the costumes.
San Francisco is a terrible place for us.
But this is everywhere.
No, this is really bad in San Francisco.
I guess the costume thing is us.
Yes.
That's our unique little piece of hell over here. It is the whole what the whole thing is. Like the more serious part of it is like you're an adult. Like, right? Like I was talking to somebody like doing my little riff on hipsters, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you're an old man." Like, I'm like, yeah. Well, that's the thing. But what I think it is I think it's always been the case that older people say to like 20-somethings, like the reason people have always done that is what they're saying is like, that's just not how life works. Like, I'm on the other side of the thing that you're on, and that doesn't work. Like, you don't get to be stoned wearing a fairy princess costume and get something, like, good shit doesn't happen from that. Like, that's not the way it goes. That's what they've always been saying.
Are you sure you're just not jealous and you don't want to? Maybe that's part of it. Maybe you want to be stoned in a fairy princess costume.
I certainly don't want to be stoned. Oh my God.
Oh, you walk down the street right now, you probably get a little contact high.
It's like free here.
Yeah.
So they open up. Seriously, it's like a bunch of children. Like there's a miniature golf course now in
Putt-putt.
Yeah, putt-putt.
I'm highly questionable of this entire concept. I don't like the whole idea of urban miniature golf.
Well, first of all, miniature golf is either for children or there's sort of a teenage thing where you can't drink yet and you go and you...
It's a suburban thing where you go because they have lots of land.
And nothing else to fucking do.
Exactly.
You're in a city where there's plenty to do.
My grad night was at a putt-putt place, and it was horrible. Oh. None of us wanted to play putt-putt. Nobody wants to actually play putt-putt.
For what?
We went there that was our grad night.
Our grad night was at Disneyland.
Yeah, well, I was from the Napa Valley.
You know who's playing? X. Well, actually, X was playing, and Matthew Wilder was playing. The alternate nights. We got Matt Wilder was our night.
Yeah, we had pancakes at the putt-putt.
Holy fuck, that's horrible.
It was horrible.
Yes, there's a miniature golf course here in the Mission, and it's not for children. Like, you actually have to. Oh no, it's going to be adults going there and being ironic. Which again,
that's the thing. We cannot just do things to do things. We have to have a theme now.
It's fucking ridiculous. The hats. So
hats.
People wearing hats. Oh. The kind of the dudes wearing the skull cap shit.
Okay, so my personal favorite is the little girls that go out in their fedoras, and all of them are wearing fedoras.
Oh, that's super stupid.
I've been out at bars
because they're going to their job at the ad agency in the 60s,
right? And they're all wearing exactly the same fedora. It's adorable. Oh, these little girls. Took Bart in from Walnut Creek. I always make fun of Walnut Creek.
You know what? They're probably not from Walnut Creek. They're probably from Noe Valley. Like, everyone's like, the number of people who get accused of being from Walnut Creek, I'm like, how big a community of like 25-year-old single women do you think live in Walnut Creek?
Fine.
They're all from frickin'
Berkeley. There's some Berkeley people.
Yeah, I think they're all from here. No, but the dudes who wear like the knit caps.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So for starters.
On hot days.
Yeah. It never gets. Jon Snow runs around Winterfell. You know how cold it is in Winterfell?
Yeah.
I don't know. Super fucking cold.
He's basically wearing a bearskin rug on him.
And is he wearing a hat? No, he's not wearing a hat. It never gets cold enough in San Francisco to wear a hat. And if you're wearing a hat like that, like a little thug hat, you better be prepared to kill me. And if you're not prepared to kill me and you're not in Winterfell, take off the fucking hat.
I saw a guy walking down the street the other day, and he was literally I hate using the word literally, but this is what he was literally wearing. Shorts, a t-shirt, and a wool cap.
Oh my fucking God. It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I get it. It's a look. Maybe you have bad hair.
It's not a look.
Maybe they're having a bad hair day.
They're wearing shorts?
I have a skull cap, but I never wear it. If I go to Tahoe.
Yeah.
Which I never go to Tahoe.
I'm not happy about it. I think there is a thing. I think that I was listening to somebody talk last night, and what bothered him was sort of the entitled. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not like like you think about like the, I don't know, the young people, like people coming back from World War II or something, and at 22, like their parents weren't like, you need to get your shit together and do. They were like, fuck, like life is serious, life sucks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a thing and do a thing and wear a suit and
well, now they've done. I'm air quoting right now.
Yeah.
They've done studies where adolescence doesn't even end until like 25 or something. They're done. They're talking about like as far as our brains are concerned, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, the people that are living in their parents' basement, which we don't even have basements, but if we had basements, they would be living there.
Yeah, right.
Until they're 30.
It's insane.
But it's the same situation as like if we were to have lived there until we were 18.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same idea.
It's super odd. I remember when my parents, and seems to be the right strategy. When we were growing up, my parents were much more like in the mode of like, we're not going to be around forever. So we're trying to teach you how to survive. By the way, that does not include fucking wearing a, fairy princess costume when you're a 25-year-old male, right? Like they were kind of like
really hard time with fairy princess costumes.
I can't think of another costume.
No, that's a pretty good one.
But everyone else thinks the costume, like tutus seem to be the thing. But
fake fur.
Yeah.
You throw on fake fur, you're clearly in costume.
Yeah. But what if something goes wrong? I don't know. It just seems like a very
Okay, so which do you hate more, hipsters or trustafarians?
Well, the trustafarian it's not his fault. Like you made a bunch of, like your parents are rich. That's not really your fault. Like you can decide to wake up and go, you know what? I'm going to do something with my life. And that's not going to be sit in the park on a Saturday for 4 hours and,
But you don't find that they're much more entitled. They think that they're more entitled.
Well, I think those guys can go either way. Like those guys can sort of be like, all right, I'm wealthy and my family, a lot of times those families, if they're structured the right way, they're like, we're going to teach you what it means to give back and to be humble and all that kind of thing. And
But at least hipsters never ask me for money.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Usually.
Yeah, that's fair, but I don't know.
And trustafarian, my problem with trustafarians, so I never go to the Upper Haight, but couple times I've been to the Upper Haight. I'm the kind of person who will yell at people and try to teach them manners.
How's that going?
Well, people think I'm crazy, but maybe it will stick with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was walking behind a lady with a stroller, and she had to go out onto the street in order to get around these trustafarians who were camped out on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I basically just laid into these guys and said, this poor woman has to go out on the street with her baby, maybe getting killed.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But you guys feel the need to lay across the sidewalk.
See, that's see that with the hipsters too, the self-absorption. I was watching some guys. I was like, Jesus Christ! I was at a Starbucks, and there's like some woman who had like a stroller, like a couple kids in it, and she had all kinds of packed stuff, and like she couldn't open the door, because like she had all the stuff, and like there's sort of a bunch of hipsters. Like I was further away, but I finally got up. Like they're kind of looking like, oh, that's interesting. Like when she opened the door, it's like, really, like none of you can fucking get up and open the goddamn. And it's not like you're just opening a door because you're being chivalrous. It's like she can't open the fucking door because she's got all the stuff. They're like, oh, let's kind of look at that.
This is the same problem that I was just talking about with the startup kids walking around Soma at lunchtime.
Oh, god damn. In packs of 5, too, because...
massive packs. And they're completely oblivious. How many times... I'll run at lunchtime, and I will have to go out onto the sidewalk, out on the street, because these people are completely oblivious to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, they're walking around like packs of it's... Yeah.
Well, and my whole thing is, where are you going for lunch?
Yeah.
Because there's certainly not a table for 5 anywhere.
Right. So you're going to bring your bullshit into some restaurant. Like, oh, there's 5 of us. Like, oh, okay.
You're going to go get your sandwich, and you're going to, I don't know, go back to work, whatever.
And we need you to all order separate kinds of sandwiches because, you have such, refined, different tastes. Yeah, that is kind of weird where you're like, okay, 4 of us are going out, but you need the 5th guy? Like, that guy is going to make it interesting? Like, what? What's the fucking thing?
Well, it's kind of like they feel security when they're together. For example, my local bar is a haven for these little boys.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
That's what you get when you dress like a whatever the hell you dress like.
So
you get called a little boy.
Here's my big problem.
Yeah.
Companies need to stop putting their logo on everything.
Yeah.
They need to stop making their stupid, ugly sweatshirts. They need to stop making their stupid, ugly T-shirts and making their workers walk around in these stupid, ugly things. Yeah. How great would it be if there was all of a sudden a dress code at tech companies enforced?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Imagine
just
the
wear
panic.
Jumpsuits or something. Yeah.
Because these kids, I mean, it's so sad. It's like you didn't even try. You're wearing your GitHub or your whatever. I don't even know. And the best thing is I love it because these companies make so many T-shirts. You always end up seeing a homeless person wearing one of the company T-shirts.
That's great.
Like, oh, really? Are you a Google team player? Really? Are you?
Really.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you're the Android guy? Because I got a thing. Like, my Android, it doesn't work on the Samsung. Oh, come here. It doesn't work on the Samsung Galaxy.
Are you tech support, sir? Are you tech support?
Yeah.
Because I got a problem.
Here, come on in. I'll just get my rig. Here, hold my laptop. I'll go. Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you shooting up right now? Okay, I'll come back later.
Yeah. Oh, that's the culture. I get it. No, I don't want to get in the way of your Google shoot up culture, guys. Oh, all right. I feel better. Having made fun of hipsters.
Getting that all out is so nice.
It's a little ridiculous.
Well, it's a daily battle. Every time I leave my house, which I'm trying to do less and less of.
Hey, I think we've done our part today. So we should do another one of these and talk about sexism, like a serious one.
Oh yeah.
If it's still going on, I mean, if we do it in a couple of weeks, we might have eradicated the whole sexism thing by then.
Oh right, yeah, it's gonna happen.
You never know.
I'm getting a raise right now, as we speak.
Excellent. All right. Well, this has been good. Are we good?
Thank you. That was fun.
Thanks. This has been Something Ventured. I'm Kent Lindstrom. Thanks a lot.